Daniel Craig is the best James Bond. Change my mind.
Welcome to the Rendezvous podcast. This week, you're joined by your host, Davis, Carter, Zach. Jacek may or may not pop in at some point. He's having some technical difficulties or something. I don't know what
But,
Jacek's up to.
but for future reference, Jason's going to start the laptop 12 hours prior to recording time.
Yeah, he's using my old laptop, and it's a dinosaur. Also, we're joined this week by my other roommate, Hunter Murphy. And want to tell us anything about yourself?
Not really.
Okay. He may interject or not interject. He wasn't sure. So to start the episode off, I just got to give a shout out to our buddies down at the University of Texas in Austin. Hook 'em horns, baby. Thank you guys for listening. And also got to give a shout out to that coon-ass Tiger fan in Fort Worth, Texas. He's a big-time fan. Hope he's having a good week.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. I don't know if we should say that, dude. Texas Longhorns lost to LSU this year.
You're right.
Yeah.
I apologize for that. Disregard that I said that. Coon-ass Tiger fan.
Yep. So, we should probably recap what we've been up to because we've been gone for 3 or 4 weeks.
Has it really been that long?
At least 2 or 3. Yeah, it's 2 or 3 weeks.
Damn. Sorry, listeners. All right, who's starting the recap off?
I guess I can.
Yeah.
What'd you do for our listeners that don't know? Zach turned 21 this week and went down to New Mexico, was it?
Yeah, I was in Santa Fe. So, what's today? Wednesday? So it's like the Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. Drove down to Santa Fe with my family. Went and saw some sights, and we did some fishing on Wednesday, which was really cool. We were fishing the Rio Grande, and it was really cool. So the Rio Grande, I guess, in Santa Fe is only fishable in like the winter, in the fall and winter.
Shit.
Yeah, so the winter, in the summer and spring, the water gets so high. So it was really cool. We it was about like an hour drive, I think, from Santa Fe to where we were fishing, and had to kind of march down into this canyon a little bit, and started fishing down there. So where we were at, the water would have been maybe 10 feet over our heads in the summertime. So it was pretty cool. It was a pretty unique experience. We went with a guide from Land of Enchantment Guides. So if anybody's looking for a good guiding outfitter in Santa Fe for some fishing, you should check those guys out because they're pretty cool. I actually caught more fish than my dad for the first time. I caught 3. My dad caught 1. So
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
So it was pretty fun.
So what kind of fish?
Rainbows. Yeah. Browns were spawning, but rainbows were what we were catching. So it was pretty cool.
How big were they?
They were average. I mean, probably 10 to 12 inches were about what they were. So,
Nice.
yeah, my brother and I both caught 3, and it was pretty cool. So we were nymphing, because that's, typically what you do in the early and late season for fly fishing.
Do you want to explain what that is for our listeners that might not know?
Yeah, so when you're fly fishing, there's like 2 different types of fishing. So you have your dry flies, which are flies that kind of sit on the water. And it's the type of fishing that I prefer, actually, because I'm not very good at nymphing. But basically, you just see the fly, and you just kind of watch it as it's going along the river, and you'll really know when you have a fish on. the same is true for nymphing, but nymphing you have two flies, and you've got one that kind of drags behind and is on a weight, so it sinks down into the water, which is good for this kind of early and late fishing, because the water is just so cold, fish aren't rising up out of the water like they would midsummer. So, and it's a little bit more common on big rivers, big water too. So, but you can I do it on my dad and I do it on the North Tongue every now and then too. So, it's a lot of fun. It was really cool. This is, I think, compared to the North Tongue, is maybe 2 or 3 times the size of like the widest part of the North Tongue, if you can think of that. So it was pretty good sized river. So it was a lot of fun.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So is it larger than the Bighorn River?
You know what? I'm sure it's pretty comparable.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of when I was on there last spring. It's pretty close to the same size.
So how many days did you go fishing last week?
Just one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we had a whole bunch of things we were going to do, and that was the first thing. The weather was surprisingly, it was kind of shitty, to be honest.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Well, Carter,
We'll
you
get
guys
to
know
that.
about the roads in Wyoming, but I was all the way down from Montana straight down to Santa Fe. There was snow and just shitty roads. But so the day we went, actually the day before, we were in the car for like 12 hours, and I get a call from the guide to just kind of confirm and, check on some details. And he said that on Tuesday last week they were fishing and they only caught like 4. Snowed the whole time. The wind was just terrible. And so he was wondering if we actually wanted to go through with it because the forecast was supposed to be the same all week. And we're like, well, I mean, we've already decided this is what we were going to do. So like, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do a half day instead of a full day just in case the weather is not very good. And
so did you end up doing the half day?
Yeah, and it was from we got on the water, I think, at noon, and it was like 4 or 5 when we were done. So it's still a pretty good day of fishing. Yeah. And the weather held out for us, which was really nice. It got windy at a couple points, but other than that, no snow, and it was really nice. So it was good.
Were you guys in a boat or just walking?
No, we were just wading. So thankfully it was just low enough that we could wade. So we just sat in the same hole for most of the time.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Rock and roll.
What else did you do in Santa Fe?
We went and saw some sights. There's a bunch of like old Spanish buildings and stuff down there. Santa Fe, I guess, is like one of the oldest cities in America, dating back to like 1600s, which is pretty cool. We saw there's a couple like chapels and stuff, and there's a cool cathedral kind of based on it's pretty similar to ones you'd see in France on the plaza. So it was a lot of fun walking around there and just kind of seeing it. It's kind of a strange town because there's all those kind of like Adobe style houses, but then there's all these like modern things inside of them. So it feels Old West, and then you walk inside and you're like, oh, this isn't Old West at all. It's just weird. Yeah. Wow. It's a weird mix, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of like Native American stuff, a lot of Indian culture. It's like 20 minutes from a reservation. Santa Fe is like 20 minutes from a reservation. So there's a lot of indigenous stuff there.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
So were you were still in Montana State for the Grizz game, right?
Yeah, that was the weekend before Thanksgiving. Yeah, that was awesome. That was so cool. So MSU beat their rival, University of Montana, for the 4th time in a row. Just pretty sweet. It was a blowout. Just beat the hell out of them.
FG.
Yeah, dude.
Did Coy catch a touchdown?
No, he didn't.
Damn it.
So I don't know if Coy listens to this, but I'll let our listeners in on a thing. So Coy played football with all of us in high school, and he's playing football up here at MSU. And he's had a pretty good season. I think he's a starter on offense, and he's caught quite a few touchdowns. And I'm in the stands just cheering like crazy and going nuts. Yeah.
He caught a touchdown against Texas Tech this year.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that was his first career touchdown as a Bobcat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I like bragging to my friends that I know, Coy, and that we're buddies and stuff. And so I was telling my friends that I go to the games with and party with afterwards, said Coy Steele will catch 4 touchdowns in the Cat Grizz game. And if he doesn't, I don't remember how many shots I told him I'd take, but I told him I'd take a lot. Well, Coy didn't come close to scoring 4 touchdowns. So I upheld my end of the bargain, though. That was a long night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, JSIC, for what we've been up to, JSIC and Art came down the Friday before Thanksgiving break. We went to the CSU game. That was fun. Got some cool hats. Showed up at 5:30 for a 7:30 game to get the hats, and then it was freezing cold. Most of our friends are pussies and left after the first quarter. Carter stuck it out until about 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and then he left. And I stuck it out
the whole game.
The whole game, yeah.
Whatever.
I'm not soft. I didn't go on the field afterwards. I went to the bar. And, so that was fun. Barely
what
beat
was
CSU. Huh?
It was a close one?
Yeah, I mean, what? 1 touchdown maybe?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Our fucking offense is... It might have been 2 at the end, but it was mostly a 1-score game the whole game. But our offense is so goddamn bad. It's embarrassing.
Sucks.
You know what? MSU's offense is not great either. There's one like really good player, Troy Anderson, and he was hurt last week for Cat Grizz. And so all week we were wondering if he was going to actually play. And so they go out to do the coin toss, and Troy's out there in jeans and like his jersey. And my friends and I looked, and we were like, "Oh no, like we're fucked. Like this game's over." And ended up being a blowout, which is pretty good. But hopefully Troy's back this week. MSU's got a home playoff game for, I think, the first time in a little while. So,
yeah. Well, and then Friday, I was gonna have a exam Monday right before Thanksgiving, and that got canceled. And so that whole week prior, Carter and I and Buffalo Hunter and Hunter Murphy were all planning to have like a Friendsgiving at the house. Well, when that exam got canceled, I was like, I am not spending one more extra minute in this town. I'm heading back to Sheridan. And so I'd been brining a turkey for a few days and made a pecan pie and stuff. And so I just let Carter take care of it, of which I'm now regretting. He cooked in my house. A bunch of people came over, had Friendsgiving in my house without me, ate my food.
You told us to have Friendsgiving in your house.
I told him to. My mistake, though, because when I came back after Thanksgiving break, I come home to a fucking house full of week-old food sitting out. They didn't put anything away, didn't clean any of the dishes. I was like, I was about ready to kill Carter. And he can attest. As soon as I walked inside, I immediately called him. He was still driving on the road, and I was like, I'm going to kill you when I see you.
Yeah, he called me about 2 p.m. Sunday afternoon. And I was like, hello, how you doing? Yeah. God damn it, Carter, I'm gonna kick your ass. And I was like, whoa, slow down. Now, I will admit that I was in the wrong there. Murphy and I had a miscommunication prior to that.
They both
we both fucked up. Yeah.
They both fucked up, thought the other one was going to clean the mess. Anyways, so they have Friendsgiving. 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday, we get an email from the college saying classes on Monday and Tuesday are canceled anyway. So I scored there. I'm the luckiest man alive. until the next day. I went out elk hunting down in Area 33, just south of KC, Wyoming, on a dirt road. I was about 45 miles away from KC, all dirt road. And I'm coming around this. It had snowed the night before, just a skiff, maybe half an inch on the road is all. But you can't entirely see where the road goes because no one drives this road, so there's no tracks. And so I thought it hugged this hill a little bit closer than it did. And all of a sudden, I'm stuck off in the ditch. And so I dig out behind my tires, tried to back up, didn't even budge. The tires weren't touching anything because I was high centered. And so for whatever reason, I'm on the one spot on this road where I have cell phone coverage. So I called JSIC. I'm like, hey, I know you're not busy. So if you don't mind, start heading my way and I might need you to pull me out. Because what I was high centered on was basically crusty snow, which ended up being ice because it snows and then melts and then snows and melts. And so I finally dug myself out. It took me 4 hours, though, just chopping away. I had a shovel, and I'm chopping away at the ice underneath the truck. And when I finally knocked out one piece of ice that was holding it high-centered, the truck dropped 6 inches. Had I been under the truck, it would have knocked me in the head, and I would have been knocked out.
Or dead, maybe?
Yeah. So I also, so I called JSIC. He couldn't find anyone for a while to go with, so eventually I had called my dad and talked to him a little bit. And so they started heading out about 4 o'clock. I got unstuck about 4:45. Didn't even get to hunt for the most part. And but for any of you guys that get stuck, here's a couple tips for you. Make sure you're not high centered. Dig out behind your tire. If you have a tree nearby, you can start sawing off a tree branch or a 2x4 in your car or something. Stick it underneath your tire and add friction to it. Yeah, so that actually helped quite a bit. Sawed off 4 tree branches, shoved them underneath the tire, and yeah,
ripped her out. Davis also called me. I was currently stranded in Fort Collins because every road to the state of Wyoming was closed.
I didn't know he was in Fort Collins. I thought he was on his way back from Laramie. And so I was like, hey, if you're on your way back, kind of a little off the beaten path, but on your way, kind of. So
that was on Tuesday?
That was Monday.
Yeah, that was Monday.
That was Monday. I got stuck at 12:30 and didn't get out till 4:45.
So you just peeled off on your way home to go hunting?
Yeah. Well, no, I was home Sunday and went back down Monday and got stuck and called that the end of my elk hunting season. Just a giant debacle from September 1st to November 26th or whatever it was. Yeah. And so I was pretty bummed out because I like killing elk. It's nice. And so JSIC had me out to his place and bought 4 doe tags, and we knocked out 4 does in about 2.5 hours. I have to apologize from the last episode to Mexican Bob. I was bugging you to sight your gun in. Well, I too need to sight my gun in.
Spoiler alert.
The first doe I was shooting was about 250 yards away, and I missed 4 times before I hit it, and it didn't run ever. Like I got off 4 shots, it didn't even budge, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
God wanted you to kill the deer.
God wanted me to kill the deer. The deer must have wanted to die, and so JSIC, I shot 2 with my 270, and we gutted those out, shot 2 more, and Got them all skinned and cut up. A lot of deer burger and steaks. So that was
Nice.
spent
That's
most
good.
of the week cutting up those fucking deer. That took longer than I expected.
Yeah. I
And
tell you
then-
what, this
Yeah.
fall, this coming a year from now, I'm going hunting, man. The main reason I haven't is just because I don't really have a hunting rifle, and I'm sure. Well, I don't know anybody who knows public lands around Bozeman, so I'm coming home a couple times next fall to go hunting.
Or you could get Onyx too. Onyx will tell you where all the public and private land are.
Okay.
Yep.
And then you can just look on that and pick where you want to hunt. But yeah, definitely back in Wyoming. Never go
Yeah.
wrong.
And then, so you want to talk about your hunt with Jasik?
Yeah, so Thanksgiving break wasn't quite as hectic for me as it was for Davis.
Yeah. Oh, I
I-
also went pheasant hunting over.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah,
go
Monday I got stuck elk hunting. Tuesday I went pheasant hunting. Got to give John Green a shout out. Him and his dogs. Hell of a bird hunting clan right there.
clan.
And then Wednesday I shot does. And then Thursday was Thanksgiving. Friday I cleaned the does and cut them up. Saturday I kept cutting them up, and then Sunday I drove home.
It's a real outdoorsman right there, ladies.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Wow. Well, I didn't go home Sunday, obviously, because we had Friendsgiving. Monday, classes got canceled, and it was supposed to start shit and snow down here. And me and one of my buddies, and then another one of my buddies that goes to school down in Fort Collins, we're going to go to this concert Tuesday night. So me and my friend that were in Laramie drove down to Fort Collins Monday, like morning, afternoon, early afternoon, to beat the snow before the roads closed. And then Tuesday, the concert got canceled, or postponed, I guess. And the roads to Wyoming were closed. Couldn't get to Cheyenne, couldn't get to Laramie. So we were stuck in Fort Collins all day Tuesday until about 5 p.m. And we all busted back to Laramie, me, Robert, and Dylan. And then we drove to Sheridan the next day. But first thing we did when we got back to Laramie Tuesday night, we went to the Buckhorn Bar. It was $1 beers. Went back home Wednesday. Hunted Wednesday night, Thursday, hunted in the morning, Thanksgiving. Friday, just spent all day hunting, really. And then Saturday, I was going to come back to Laramie on Saturday, actually, but roads were all closed going south. You couldn't leave the town of Sheridan, really. And went out to Jasik's place, and in a matter of 30 seconds or so, dropped 2 does.
I thought you shot one.
No, I shot 2.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
makes
There's
sense.
one standing on the hill, shot it, stumbled, fell down the hill, spun a 180. There was another one standing in the cornfield about 250. Bam! And this one that I shot in the field was fucking hilarious, dude. I like heart shotted and nicked one of its lungs, and the thing, as soon as the bullet smacked her and she started running, there was just blood spraying out of the side. And Jasik and I are like 250 yards away, and there was a blood trail that was about a foot wide that ran for 80 yards, and you could just see it bright red in the snow. And Jasik was freaking out the whole time. He's like, holy shit, look at that.
We hammered his deer population.
Yeah, we did. But it's meat in the freezer. Thankful for it. But hunting is real fun. Do very much enjoy hunting.
Nice.
Drove back to Laramie Sunday, and that's about that.
Well, that's not about that. We got to talk about the drive home. That was a mess. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, seriously.
It was like driving on fucking straight ice.
It
Yeah.
was like driving through fucking Antarctica, dude.
My
What?
exam that was supposed to be the Monday before Thanksgiving got bumped to the Monday after Thanksgiving because for whatever reason the professor's an idiot and is like, I'm just gonna give you guys more time to study. Like anyone's gonna fucking study over Thanksgiving break. And so Sunday morning at 8 o'clock, I woke up at like 7. I'm like, this is gonna take me hell. The roads were closed Friday, Saturday, and just had open Sunday morning at like 9 o'clock. And I was like, well, I got to get down there. It's going to take all day. And I need to start studying because I hadn't studied at all. And so it had the test ended up, got down here. Test got moved to Wednesday after I got down here. I was pissed. I almost killed myself. And test went okay today. So
Good on you.
So anyways, the road between Sheridan and Buffalo was icy in spots, not too bad. But between 10 miles outside of Buffalo to Casper was just a straight sheet of ice.
Yeah.
Black ice, it was fucked.
Oh my God, Zach, you got to listen to this one.
So while you guys were going back down to Laramie, I was coming up from Denver to Sheridan
Oh
because
yeah,
I got
get this,
stuck.
Davis.
Yeah.
I got stuck in Colorado. So we left Saturday and made it up to Denver, and all the roads in Wyoming were closed. So we had to stay the night in Denver. Sunday, we spent the whole day driving up from Denver to Sheridan. And yeah, the roads were horrible. We saw probably 20 cars in the median and off to the side of the road in the snow.
Dude,
Yeah.
Davis, get this though. I wish this man a happy birthday to his face.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? You
Yeah.
guys saw each
Yeah.
other?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in Casper getting gas, and they had just pulled up to the pump, and I was walking inside to rip a piss, and I
Nice.
looked over to the side, and I saw Zach's mom and brother, and I was like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
Zach!" It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So usually you can get to Laramie a couple ways. You can go from Casper to Wheatland to Laramie, or Casper to Cheyenne over to Laramie, or Casper to Medicine Bow and down to Laramie. Usually 95% of the time in the winter, Casper to Medicine Bow to Laramie is the worst. You never want to drive that road in the winter.
Hell no.
So I'm looking at the road report and I'm like, well, it says it's the best road. So naturally, and it's also like 45 minutes faster. And so I took that road because I needed to get down here and start studying. So it's blowing snow, but the road is dry for the most part. Like 80% of the road was completely dry. And I text all these guys in our group chat coming down. I'm like, yeah, go through Medicine Bow. Road ain't that bad. And they don't believe me. So they go to Wheatland and down to Cheyenne and over to Laramie, that is an extra hour and a half. And that interstate I-25 ended up closing down after they got to Cheyenne and whatnot. And so, like, I had dry roads. There was blowing snow, and there's a couple times snow's blowing so bad across the road you can't see the road, and you're driving directly at the sun. And so I didn't have sunglasses. I couldn't see shit. So I'm like that Baby Yoda meme, just woo. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where the rumble strips are. And so that happened a couple times, but other than that, it was like completely dry. So I made it in pretty good time. These other idiots took them forever.
I was on a different mission.
Well, you were, but
Bridger and Connor
Yeah.
and all those guys, yeah, that's on them.
yeah,
Bastard.
they didn't believe me.
I would have gone through Medicine Bow if I didn't have to go to Fort Collins.
Yeah.
Zach, listen to this one though. So, I might have told you at the gas station too, but Robert and I driving down I-25. We're probably 10 miles outside of Buffalo, and this car going northbound is flying. He's going like 65 at least, and the dude, like Robert and I watched this whole thing happen. The guy was in the left lane, hits ice, and just flies into the median. And I was like, oh, fuck. And Robert and I were freaking out because we thought this guy was going to die. And he damn near slid into like our lane going south. And this dude spins like a 360. He's driving like this Nissan SUV crossover shit. Spins a 360. There's snow going everywhere. It looked like a bomb just went off. Pulls out of the 360, just flooring it still, and merges back onto the interstate. He's got like this big ass pile of snow on his hood, and his windows are caked in it. And the dude just kept going. I don't think he slowed down at all. It was impressive.
I almost got in 2 wrecks on I-25 in between Buffalo and Casper. One of them, I was going about 55, passing someone who was going 45, and I'm in the left lane, and we're coming up on this car that's a little bit ahead of me. I thought they were going at a decent speed. Well, it turns out they were going like 30 fucking miles an hour in the passing lane. And so I start passing this truck, and I start to realize this car in front of me is like going half the speed I am. And so I'm like trying to slow down. You're not on ice. You're not supposed to hit the brakes, right?
Yep.
Well, I needed to hit the fucking brakes. And so I start sliding, and I look over at the truck that I'm passing, and he looks over at me because he knows what's going on. We make eye contact. He floors it so I can get into his lane, and he floored it. I got over just in time. I was like, oh my God, thank God that guy was paying attention. That is
dude.
Semper Fi.
Shout out to that guy. That's Semper Fi.
And then another time, this mom in a minivan was like riding my butt, and in between Midwest and Casper there was like this snowdrift across the interstate that I don't know why they didn't clear that. It was like a foot fucking deep. So I hit that. My back end swerved a little bit, and I immediately looked into the rearview mirror, and the minivan that was, I kid you not, 5 feet behind me hit it and just lost control and spun out into the median. I was like,
oh my God.
Oh my God.
Rip minivan.
Wow.
Karma.
Yeah.
Dude, there was another.
It was a fun little drive. Let me tell you.
There was
Exciting.
another part. The road between Wheatland and Cheyenne was ass too.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was one part, it was probably like 20 miles outside of Cheyenne, and there's this overpass exit. And I shit you not, there were like 2 fire trucks, an ambulance, like 3 cop cars, and there were 10 cars off the road in that one spot in the median.
Yeah.
Traffic was going like 5 miles an hour because there was so much shit going on. Someone rear-ended like a semi and just smashed their car to pieces.
There's a picture of a semi on I-25, ass in the air, going off the road.
Yeah, I passed that one.
Well, Timer Goss and Aaron Sessions ended up...
they got stuck in Midwest.
Yeah, they got stranded in Midwest for a night.
I saw that one. I think that was the one I saw. There were 2 semis, weren't there? Because one was like halfway on the road, and it was jackknifed, and then there was another one that it was jackknifed and took up the rest of the road. The traffic was backed up for at least half a mile.
They ended up closing most of I-25 again, like Sunday night. So
yeah, it was almost right after that.
At like 3:00 on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm glad I made it down when I did. But
right once we got through KC, that's when the roads closed.
Yeah.
Or I think it was like right after that.
So closing thoughts. For your closing thought this week, I want to hear what you guys are thankful for during Thanksgiving.
All right.
Murphy, you want to start us off?
Let's hear from Murphy.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for the fact that I got to go back to Sheridan for the first time since September, and I got to hunt. Yeah.
Amen to that, brother.
Yeah.
Zach, what you got?
Thankful for my family and thankful for my ability to go to school here in Montana.
I bet you're thankful to be 21 down there, aren't you?
I am very thankful for that too.
Even though he doesn't need his fucking ID.
Yeah. That's a story for another day. But I'm hitting the Rockin' R Bar this Saturday, boys.
Hell yeah, brother.
So if you're listening in Montana, go to that bar.
Yep.
Yep. And wish Zach a happy birthday.
Carter?
I'm thankful for family. I'm thankful for the fact that we were able to get to Sheridan and back to Laramie without dying. Thankful Zach got home safe too. Goddamn, driving all the way from Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Thankful to hunt. I really needed that week.
Yeah.
Literally
to kill
spent.
something.
Yeah, I needed to kill something. School's been real stressful this semester. It just had to take it out on something. Yeah.
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 I'm thankful for my family, my friends, the outdoors. Hunting really, that relieved some stress over break.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I did some aspect of hunting almost every day. And thankful for my car, the house I live in, my clothes, my food. Thankful for a lot. But mostly thankful for our listeners who listen in every week. Thank you,
God
guys.
bless you guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't know why you guys keep coming back, but thank you.
No, it's a good thing you keep coming back.
Yeah,
We're funny dudes.
yeah.
We're funny dudes.
I'm surprised they keep coming back, so thank you.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you next time on the Rendezvous.